Can you send an ambulance?
SE15?
Yeah, SE15, yeah. It's a boy bleeding to death. He's actually bleeding to death.
Right, where is he bleeding from?
Some tragedies are known by a single name. Damilola, a 10-year-old killed by children. That boy would have been a man of 33 today.
Hello, and welcome to Crime Time with the Easy E. Yes, the King, where we turn criminals into the roaches that they are, and then stomp on them, or make them disappear. Shit. Okay. Now, awkward pause, as I try to recover and pretend that didn't happen. Anywho, the tragic murder of 10-year-old Damilola Taylor, this case, which took place in Peckham, South London, in November of 2000, was a shock to the UK and brought to light the problem of youth violence in the country. The case not only left a deep impact on the family and friends of Damilola, but also on the society as a whole, leading to significant reforms in the justice system. Damilola Taylor was born in Lagos, Nigeria, in 1989. In 1999, his family moved to the UK in search of better opportunities. They settled in the North Peckham estate, an area known for high crime and poverty. Damilola was a bright and happy boy who enjoyed playing football and aspired to become a doctor someday. On November 27, 2000, Damilola was walking home from the library when he was attacked by a group of teenagers. The attackers punched, kicked, and stabbed him with a broken bottle. Damilola managed to crawl to a stairwell where he was found by a passerby who called for an ambulance. The ambulance arrived quickly, and Damilola was rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately, he died from his injuries shortly after. Star Wars actor John Boyega and his sister Grace were some of the last people to be spotted on the CCTV footage with Damilola while escorting him part of the way home. The three were friends, and the Boyegas helped babysit him. The investigation into Damilola's murder was long and difficult. The police initially struggled to find any solid leads, and the case remained unsolved for several years. The investigation faced criticism, as it appeared to have failed to identify the culprits. However, after years of investigation, in 2005, 3 teenagers were arrested and charged with Damilola's murder. The trial of the 3 teenagers was highly publicized, and the evidence against them was overwhelming. They were convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to a total of 27 years in prison. The case led to significant reforms in the justice system, including the introduction of specialist youth courts and tougher sentences for those convicted of crimes involving knives. The legacy of Damilola Taylor's murder is one of sadness and tragedy, but it also led to important changes in the way the UK deals with youth violence. The murder highlighted the vulnerability of young people in areas affected by high crime rates and social deprivation. It also brought to light the need for greater intervention and support for young people at risk of getting involved in criminal activities. Today, there are more resources and programs in place to help young people avoid getting involved in crime. Schools and community groups now provide educational programs and after-school activities to keep young people engaged in positive activities. Additionally, there is a greater emphasis on rehabilitation rather than punishment for young people who commit crimes. The murder of Damilola Taylor was a heartbreaking tragedy that had a profound impact on the UK. It not only highlighted the issue of youth violence in the country, but also led to significant reforms in the justice system. The legacy of Damilola Taylor is one of hope for a better future, where young people are supported, educated, and given the resources they need to build a better life for themselves and their communities. Who are Danny and Ricky Preddy? They were the young killers who cruelly stabbed 10-year-old Damilola Taylor to death as he walked home from the computer club in Peckham. Danny and Ricky Preddy were just 12 and 13 when they attacked Damilola in 2000. Brothers Danny and Ricky Preddy were members of a gang known as the Young Peckham Boys, and by age 12 and 13, were terrorizing the streets of South London. Where are they now? Danny was let out of prison in 2011 after being given early release for serving 5 years of his 8-year sentence. His brother was released the year before on parole, just 4 years after the 8-year sentence was handed down. He was sent back to prison in March 2011 after visiting Peckham from his West London bail hostel, in breach of his license conditions. While inside, he beat up another prisoner, but a parole board hearing on December 23, 2011, decided he should be released on January 25, 2012. Just 16 days later, he was jailed again for violating his parole when he visited areas he was banned from and visiting friends from his old gang. In November 2019, Ricky was driving through Wembley when police asked him to pull over. After stopping, he then reversed into the police vehicle and injured a female officer inside, then drove away. He was later caught by police and has been sentenced to 4 years in prison and a 12-year driving ban, effective from when he is released from jail. Check out these videos.
It was the most devastating call I ever took in my life.
Everybody was just really rigid with shock. It was just too appalling to contemplate.
It was nationally and internationally, worldwide audience wanting to know why this 10-year-old was killed.
I looked at this little boy and thought, that could be my brother, that could be one of my cousins, that could be someone from my family.
What did it mean to you and your working life?
Yeah. I mean, it was one of the most harrowing cases I think I've ever covered. I mean, as a journalist, you try to sort of stand back emotionally and try not to get emotionally involved in the cases that you cover. But this one, for some reason, really got to me.
Can you take an ambulance?
SE15?
Yeah, SE15, yeah. It's a boy bleeding to death. He's actually bleeding to death.
Right, where is he bleeding from?
Some tragedies are known by a single name. Damilola, a 10-year-old killed by children. That boy would have been a man of 33 today.
I will never forgive those two boys.
Since his son's death, hundreds more have died on London's streets. Less than 2 weeks ago, 2 16-year-olds were stabbed in southeast London, close to where Richard Taylor lives.
It saddens me that such has been brought to my backyard. It's such a disappointment. To me, I don't think they value life. For me, taking a knife and plunging it into someone else because of what? Because of money, because of music, because of drugs. It's something that I believe there is some evil spirit attached to it.
Before he was attacked, Damilola skipped and ran from Peckham Library. Tonight his image is projected onto that building, a preview of a permanent memorial that will be painted there next year.
But from this tragedy, there's still hope. A group of people trying to reduce violence and stop another Damilola.
A shining light in this movement, K1LL, who's part of the Hope Collective, hosting talks called Hope Hacks around the country.
So the Hope Collective is a legacy project for the Damilola Taylor Trust that celebrates the life of Damilola Taylor, but also it is all about changing the conversation, giving young people hope and giving them the platform to offer their solutions to the issues closest to their hearts. And I always say those closest to the problems have the solution. So it's all about amplifying the voices of young people, and because they've got the voices, we just want to give them a platform to be seen and heard.
Niven Rennie is about to become the executive chair of the Hope Collective.
We're asking young people across the UK to reimagine a better society, a society where they'll have more hope and aspiration. And we're creating this manifesto from the ideas from the young people. You're not going to change the world overnight. We've been at it 18 years in Scotland and we're still learning different ways of tackling the issue. But the idea of giving hope and opportunity and aspiration to young people, talking about young people in more positive terms, is certainly the thing that the Hope Collective is trying to do.
Let's talk about the mural. Yeah. Damilola's image on the Peckham Library.
For me, it's an everlasting memorial for Damilola Taylor. Yeah, we have been able to achieve a memorable picture for Damilola for the whole world to see, the community to admire and remember. It's a remembrance of what happens. It reminds them an everlasting memorial there for him. It pleases my mind. It encourages my heart.
My name is Grace and I knew Damilola from Oliver Goldsmith Primary School. We were classmates and I was one of the last people to see him alive. I just felt like I could have done more. I could have walked him to his house, and I was with my brother as well, so that's two people walking one person home. You know, me and my brother are guaranteed to get home safely, but yeah.
My name is Richard Taylor, father of Damilola Taylor. I still break down. I still feel the pain. When I look at other young people growing up, it always reminds me that, oh, Dami could have been a doctor. You know, for the rest of my life, I have to live with it, you know, and then just bear the cross and die with it. The legacy we want is for those young people that will be growing up after, that they will have that similar aspiration that Damilola Taylor had, you know, to enable them to better their life.
Even though he was a child, I feel like he was content with life. He was just happy with where he was. Just feel like he didn't take life for granted. He was just happy with what he had. Yeah.
Richard and Gloria Taylor have waited 5.5 long and painful years for this moment, to see two teenagers convicted of the manslaughter of their son. They have endured 3 separate trials, have seen 5 other boys acquitted, and today, finally, they have justice.
No verdict can ever return our son to us, but it is a great comfort that justice has finally been done for Damilola. We pray that his gentle soul can now rest in peace.
When the guilty verdicts were read out, the eldest brother, Ricky Preddy, flew into a rage. He shouted at the jury, "You're crazy, I'm innocent," and turned to police officers in court and said, "You're going to pay." His mother was sitting in the public gallery and she tried to calm him down, but he shouted, "I'm not going to shut up, I'm not going to sit down." He began tearing off his coat and shouted to the court, "This is a stitch-up." At this point, Mr. Justice Goldring ordered him to be taken from the dock. It took 10 police officers to restrain him, and his angry calls could be heard echoing down the corridor.
I'm reaching out. It's been 17 years since I've seen her.
Second floor.
Oh God, that's the tightest squeeze.
Losing him, it was like, it literally made me scared. I had never felt scared in my life before that. Never, to be honest. It really, and that fear, I would say, still to an extent, lives with me now. If I'm honest, to sit here with you of all people and be able to talk about this makes me happy. I guess I'm also sitting here feeling a bit emotional, thinking about it all, because although he hadn't been there very long, he was still one of us. He was still a child. He was still part of the community.
Hi. The last person to see Dami that day was his friend Tiny Man.
Can we go on tomorrow? Seeing all that, I lost one of my closest friends when I was 9 years old, Damilola Taylor, which was one of the biggest murder cases in the UK that me and my sister had to be involved in because we were one of the last people with him. I come from something, and I think people saw Star Wars, they ain't clock.
Yeah.
Please keep all involved in your prayers. What do you think about this story? Let me know in the comments below. And be nice, or a frog you will become. Damn it. If you like the video, like, subscribe, and hit that bell to receive notifications of when we upload a new video. Also check out our merch at sen1he.com.